Today's unique life information is dedicated to those of you with these numbers categories. Take a moment to listen carefully and see whether you have family members or friends around you who may share these same information. You not only keep emotions buried within yourself, but you also save your tears for the moments when no one is watching. There are many heartbreaking moments in this world, and behind every life story lies a different lesson that each person is carrying. In the eyes of others, they are always the responsible ones, the thoughtful ones, the caring ones, the ones who put their heart into everything they do. They take relationships seriously, cherish their families deeply, and do their best to live up to the expectations of those around them. But only they themselves know about those quiet moments behind closed doors, those lonely nights when no one checks in, and the silence that follows forced smiles. They have been overwhelmed by grievances countless times, suffocated by the weight of repression. Because they are afraid of losing, they choose to endure. Because they are afraid of disappointing others, they choose to act strong. Because they fear that their vulnerability might become a burden to others, they choose to carry everything on their own. So gradually over time, they learn to completely suppress their sadness, swallow their tears, hold back their inner grievances, and let their physical bodies bear all the unspoken words they cannot say. Yet the most exhausting part of life for them is not the storms they have endured. It is hiding every wound so well that no one ever realizes those wounds were there in the first place. Many times a person's sense of repression doesn't just come from what they've been through, it's that even after giving their all just to live, they still don't know why their life has turned out this way, why despite always wanting to let go, they end up shouldering more and more, and why, while always taking care of others, they forget to care for themselves. Why is it that after giving all their heart, they still end up losing the people and things they cherish most, time and again? Why despite longing so much to be loved, do they always end up wronging themselves and every relationship they're in? Some tears aren't shed because of weakness, but because someone has been holding on alone for far too long. Some grievances aren't because they can't bear them, but because no one has ever truly understood what they've been through, and these repeatedly occurring life patterns often conceal deeper layers of information about our existence. Those relationships that cause us deep emotional pain, again and again, those recurring emotions, those inescapable predicaments, and the constant ups and downs and challenges in our careers, health, marriage, and wealth are all far from being simple coincidences or random events, because all the unique information about the journey of life has long been carefully laid out and presented in its own way within the numbers phenomena of each individual life. The true value of numbers phenomena is not just to tell us what might happen in our lives or the specific types of outcomes that will eventually occur. Its even more profound significance lies in assisting us in identifying what underlying causes are actually concealed deep behind those inevitable events. Because when you see the root of your emotions, you can understand why you are always trapped by the same feelings. When you see the root of your relationships, you begin to understand why similar people and recurring lessons keep appearing in your life. When you see the root of illness, you will be able to read the signals your body sends and recognize the deep impact left by emotions, habits, stress, and life patterns. When you see the root of your career, you will be able to understand the true logic behind both success and setbacks. When you see the root of every recurring event in your life, you truly gain the chance to make a change. Because the most effective way to change the outcome is never to fight against it, but to return to the root cause. The study of numbers phenomena is fundamentally not just about learning numbers, but about learning life itself, understanding why life unfolds in the way that it does, how destiny is formed, and the underlying patterns behind every choice, every emotion, every relationship, and every single gain or loss we experience. At the same time, through numbers phenomena, comprehensive, precise, effective solutions, life no longer simply repeats the patterns of the past. Instead, after gaining awareness, you have the power to choose. After understanding, you have the ability to change, and after becoming conscious, you gain the chance to shape your future.